In 26 years of One Piece, we have never seen a transformation like this. Not just big, not just powerful. This is Oda creating a character on a completely different scale. Gear 5 Giant Luffy doesn't even reach Loki's horn. That's how absurd this form is. And once again, Oda reminds us of something just as unstoppable. The strongest thing in this world isn't hockey. It isn't devil fruits. It's a parent's love. The giants chose to fall with their children, and from that despair, a sun god rises. Oh, and by the way, Brook once called Roger a rookie, asked Big Mom, a Yonko, to show her panties, and now he's standing face to face with Emu. At this point, Brook might secretly be Yonko level. Let's break it down. The chapter opens with the demonized giants preparing to execute Jurul. Jurul watches in disbelief, lamenting what has happened to Dory and Brogy. Hadrian turns to Zoro and asks, "What's your plan?" But Zoro doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he asks something important. Is it okay if I cut them down? Hadrian hesitates. These are members of the giant warrior pirates. They are legends. He and Stanson deeply respect them. Protecting Jurul is the priority, but striking down their own comrades? That's not easy. Before they can decide, two demonized giants notice Hadrian and Stanson. They mock Hadrian's dream of uniting all giant kind. That's the breaking point. Hadrian and Stanson get enraged. They give Zoro permission. Do it. Zoro immediately leaps into the air. Hadrian realizes the strategy. If Zoro stays above them, he avoids getting trapped between the giants and avoids being demonized himself. It's clever. Hadrian and Stanson move to flank the giants. Zoro jumps off their heads, launching even higher. Then, he unleashes his attack. 3-sword style, secret art, crossing the 6 paths. A massive aerial slash. He cuts through the entire group of demonized giants. They're torn apart mid-charge. But then, Dory and Brogy intervene. They try to trap Zoro between them. Zoro barely escapes mid-air. And the two co-captains slash each other instead. Their shields shatter. The attack passes straight through. Jurul is completely shocked. They attacked each other. At first, we see their shields break, but the attack was so powerful it may have gone through their bodies too. They might regenerate, but it isn't shown. Will they continue fighting each other, or will they get up and attack Zoro again? The scene shifts. At branch 8, we see Brook. He crawls his way toward Gunko. She is still possessed by Emu. When he reaches her, he says something unexpected. Princess Shuri. Emu turns to face him. Brook says he knows it sounds impossible, but Gunko looks identical to Princess Shuri. He says that if she isn't Shuri herself, she must be blood-related. Princess Shuri would be around 80 years old now. Brook says that, of course, in his current skeletal state, even if she were Shuri, she might not recognize him. He describes Gunko's features: blue hair, mismatched eyes. She loved his music, and she has a connection to the Holy Land. Every detail matches. Then Brook snaps. He shouts that he never wanted to remember her. He calls her the father-killing princess. Princess Shuri killed the man Brook loved most, the man he considered his idol. Brook calls Gunko princess. From this, we understand Brook was extremely close to the king, Gunko's father, and may have served him. But Princess Shuri killed her own father. The reason is unknown. We'll see that in the future. As Brook speaks, something happens to Gunko. She begins to feel something. Then, Emu's presence manifests through her. Emu speaks through Gunko. He asks if her memories are returning. Gunko briefly regains control and tells Brook to run, but Emu regains control and attacks Brook with arrows. Gunko tries to weaken her own ability, allowing Brook to escape the arrow bindings. Emu gets furious and strengthens his control over her, questioning whether she is trying to move of her own will. We know holy knights are bound by a covenant. They cannot disobey Emu. Gunko's arrow grabs Brook's leg. Brook demands answers. Why did she tell him to run? Who is she really? He says he came here to settle the score. Emu, through Gunko, attacks Brook directly. Brook blocks with a shield. Emu demands to know, what is your connection to her? The scene shifts before we see the outcome. Elsewhere, Usopp, Nami, and Jinbei escape Gunko's arrows thanks to that brief loss of control. They rush to free Robin, but she's trapped by Sommers' invisible thorns. They can't break them safely. Robin tells them, forget about me, save the children. Suddenly, Nami hears Sanji yelling her name from far away. The scene shifts again. We see the children approaching the ship. Sommers is guiding them. He tells them to hurry. Colin angrily confronts Sommers. He says invading Elbaf is a mistake. The giants are strong. Sommers acknowledges Colin as Gavin's son, and ignores him. Colin says they should face them like warriors. Sommers says, there's the shore. The ship is waiting. This is the last time you'll see this country. Say your goodbyes. Sommers contacts Emu in Killingham. I have almost completed the mission. He casually asks if there is more work before he goes home. home. Suddenly, he notices Ripley and the giant group approaching. He is annoyed. He thought the MMAs were keeping them occupied. Just then, a Nika-type MMA blocks the giant's path. The children tell their parents to run. The giants refuse. You call that Nika? Don't play games with us. We come from a generation of warriors. Without hesitation, the giants charge forward. They attack the Nika MMA head-on and damage it. The children watch in absolute shock as they witness their parents' overwhelming strength. From a distance, Goldberg and Gerd see what's happening. They realize they can't reach the battlefield in time, so they make a decision. Attack from afar. Gerd and Goldberg prepare to attack. Road joins them. All three release Gokoku Sovereignty. A massive blast tears a hole straight through the Nika MMA. The monster collapses, falling directly onto Sommers. Sommers reacts instantly. He swings his spiked club and deflects the falling monster. But, in doing so, he accidentally sends it crashing into the ship, the escape ship. It explodes into pieces. Completely destroyed, Sommers stares in horror. His entire extraction plan, gone. The editor's note makes it clear. The Holy Knight's twisted game has taken an unexpected turn. The chapter ends here. Chapter 1174 wastes no time. We're thrown directly into the aftermath of chaos. Killingham's Nika Dream Monster didn't just destroy the Holy Knight's escape ship, it also destroyed the sea clouds beneath it. And that changes everything. Because now there's a massive hole leading straight down to the underworld. And Gunko's arrow ability is still active, which means the children are still walking forward, and they're about to walk off the edge and fall to their deaths. Sommers immediately realizes how bad this is. Their entire plan, ruined. Even if they build another ship, there's no cloud layer left to use. The editor even calls it a blunder in the Holy Knight's endgame. Sommers tries to contact Gunko. He keeps calling out to her, telling her to stop the arrows so they can rethink their strategy. But then he remembers. Imu is currently controlling her. Gunko has no free will right now. There will be no response. Then the giant parents try to destroy Gunko's arrows. They try again and again, but not even a single scratch. They are shocked. What is this ability? The children start crying. The parents desperately try to save them, but Sommers uses his thorn vines to speak to the giants. He says, "This is useless. If cutting the arrows worked, I would have done it myself." Then something twisted happens. A horrifying idea enters Sommers' mind. Because of his invisible steel-hard thorn vines, the parents can't even get close enough to grab their children, which means they'll be forced to watch them fall, and Sommers finds that entertaining. He smiles. Now that's a deliciously depraved way to die. He even shifts the blame. He says if the children die, it's Imu's fault for possessing Gunko. He's such a disgusting character. He even says they can just kidnap more children anytime. He's excited. He says he can't wait to see the parents cry. He's enjoying their suffering. Sommers connects to the Holy Knights and announces, their original plan to safely transport the children to the Holy Land is ruined. The ship is destroyed. The cloud layer is destroyed. Then he says something horrifying. The children will fall and die. It's almost clinical, he says. You walked all this way, but your journey ends here. The children panic. Are we seriously just going to fall? Oimo refuses to stand still. He says if he has to sacrifice himself for the children, he will. He hugs his grandson. But Sommers' invisible vine pierces through Oimo's body. He gets heavily injured. Sommers announces, unfortunately, there's no way to stop them. We even see Killingham get angry. He says, we took the children all the way here, and now you're saying this? Oimo realizes the arrow ability cannot be stopped. The parents feel completely helpless. Ripley doesn't know what to do. The giants cry, are we just gonna watch them die? If they fall from here, we won't even find their bodies. Sommers continues laughing. The children keep walking. The children begin talking among themselves. They think maybe this is punishment for their past bad behavior. Colin says, do you really think we're dying because of that? The children promise they'll become better. They say they'll never misbehave again. They apologize. They ask for help. But Sommers keeps smiling. Then we see flashbacks. Colin with his mom Ripley. When he took someone's toy after winning a duel, she told him the sun god pays special attention to mischievous kids. She punished him and told him to be gentler to those weaker than him. Now he cries and says, I won't be bad anymore. Another girl arguing with her mother. Another child playing with his father's sword. Another mocking his grandfather's pirate crew. All the small mistakes, all the regrets, the kind you regret when it's too late. They promise to change. But it doesn't matter. They're at the edge. Colin is about to fall. and then Ripley appears. She hugs him with a smile. The transparent vine pierces through Ripley's body. Cullen begs her to run, but Ripley refuses. She says, "I'm sorry I wasn't able to stop you, but I won't let you die alone." The arrow reaches the edge. The children begin to fall. One by one, the parents jump. They embrace their children mid-fall. Ranja's father praises her bravery before falling. Ainge hugs her student Johanna like her own daughter. Road arrives to hug his embarrassed younger brother. Even Oimo, despite being injured, refuses to let his family fall alone. All of them fall together. And Sommers? He laughs. He drools. He calls it beautiful. He says their love is the reason they're dying. He calls it meaningless. He's completely heartless. But then, the children land. Not on the ground, not in the underworld. They land on something massive. Confused, Ripley asks, "Where are we?" Cullen says, "I don't know, but everyone's alive." Then we hear Luffy's voice. He talks about his form. And then, we realize Loki has transformed into his full form. Luffy is with him. Loki says, "Once we're back in the Sun World, get off my back. You're distracting me." The giants are confused. We were on his back? The size is so huge, they thought they were on land. Luffy turns and says, "You guys suddenly fell on us from above. Good thing we were passing through." Loki says he didn't save anyone on purpose. He's the great destroyer. He didn't take responsibility for anyone's safety. He refuses to admit he saved them. Then something happens. Snow begins to fall. Sommers says, "Wait, it's snowing?" Lightning strikes everywhere across Elbaf. The entire country starts shaking with a rhythmic vibration. Even Elder Jarul senses it. He recalls an old sign. When thunder and snow fall together, a giant beast appears. And the drums of liberation will boom. Sommers looks up and freezes. Gonko's body, controlled by Emu, reacts too. Emu senses it. And then, we see the double spread panel. Loki emerges from below, in his true form, a colossal black dragon-like giant. Luffy in Gear 5 hanging near his horn, Ragnar atop his head. The scale is absurd. Gear 5 giant Luffy doesn't even reach Loki's horn. That's how massive he is. Loki immediately begins decimating Killingham's remaining MMAs. Luffy laughs and says, "Look at you, you're huge." And Jarul says the chilling line in the background, "The sun god will rise." And with that, the chapter ends. The battlefield shifts instantly, and just like that, Elbaf's fate changes forever. The Holy Knight's game collapses, the children live, and the parents prove what true strength really is. Above it all, Loki rises in a form that shakes the sky itself. If this is only the beginning of Loki and Luffy fighting side by side, then the world government has no idea what kind of storm is coming. This isn't just another battle, this is the hour of Elbaf. And next chapter, the real war begins. Let me know your thoughts about Loki's transformation in the comments below. Do you think Oda made Loki too broken? Or is this exactly the kind of overwhelming force Elbaf needed to shake the world? Until next time, keep that fire burning, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.